This is the Realty Classroom Podcast, episode number 158. Strict systems and intuition. You need them both. Are you a real estate agent with an entrepreneurial spirit who wants to turn your job into a business without sacrificing your lifestyle, but you just can't seem to find the right plan or any plan to help you get there? Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Realty Classroom and the host of this podcast. Now, to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction if you're new or a better direction if you're already in the business, I've created a free strategic plan for you that's waiting at freeagentgift.com. I have a nice infographic you can print out, and that'll keep you strategic as you build your business, and a video course that'll take you through the steps that I think are wire framework important to you. Get over there, freeagentgift.com. All right, strict systems and intuition, you need them both. First point here, nothing beats a system that serves the public predictably. Let me say it again because every word in that line is important. Nothing beats a system that serves the public predictably. This took me a long time to understand, a long time. And I think it's through all this study that I did about business and about small business and how a small business was built and what a franchise prototype really meant. That there's always that initial place where they really work on their systems. Think McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, these days Chick-Fil-A. A lot of the fast food restaurants are amazingly systematized. Not that many other businesses aren't as well, but those are the ones we see as we approach Starbucks coffee, Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Those are systems, and they're very, very tight systems. And the reason we go there is not necessarily because the food is the best. The coffee is the best. Sure, if you sat down with an artisan who made you a beautiful one single cup of coffee and with the greatest beans from the deepest jungles where they grow the best beans, you might have the best cup of coffee that far exceeds a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks. Sure. But that's not necessarily something that serves the public predictably. See, if every single day I need my cup of coffee or in the afternoon I need my cheeseburger and that's the way that I get through my day, then I'm going to go to these places that predictably serve me. I know that if I pull up to a Starbucks drive-thru, which I do, that's one of the places where I'm predictable. And yes, there are many better cups of coffee than Starbucks that I can make myself. However, if I need that Java, if I need that caffeine, or I want that caffeine on a long drive, for example, then I'm going to look on the app predictably for a shop that I can pull into in their drive-thru predictably. I'm going to order that easy to press button predictably, and I'm going to show up at that window and they're going to give me exactly what I want, and more conveniently, they're going to beep, right? And they're going to hit my card and off I go. Because I'm busy. And I don't want to be inconvenienced just to get a cup of coffee. I don't want to go off into the woods looking for a cup of coffee. I just want to know where it is. So you see, those systems are so good. And you wonder why all these places are so prolific, even if they don't have the best coffee, the best food, the best clothes, whatever. But it's just that predictable result that we get. And when something's unpredictable, and you can see this in small businesses everywhere. For example, I had a car experience today, and I was talking to the manager, who at this point happens to be a buddy, and I was turning, sorry, I just kicked my headset. I got so excited there. I was turning in a car today, and I have to tell you that I love this version of an automobile, but it was clear that this place is in chaos. It's chaos. It's all over the place. One time I went in there and there was a really nice greeter at the front door. The next time I went in, there was nobody. One time I went in, there were 3 salespeople and a valet. Next time, there weren't any. Well, I can't get used to a predictable experience. The same thing with my hair. If I get my hair cut, it's predictable. I go to one person that I know I can text, I can go to, I can arrive, I can get my hair cut. Period. I'm going to get a consistent haircut. I mean, I'm sure if I gave him more time, he could give me the best haircut ever, but it's predictable and I just want to get it done. That's it. So you see, the people with the best systems, they serve you the best. So that's why strict systems, when I say strict, they keep you in line and they keep the consumer in line and everybody gets a predictable result. And that's why people repeat and refrequent. Next point here is Your strict systems actually are keeping you from winging it and selling on muscle. Now, as a coach at the Realty Classroom, every Friday, we do now what has become primarily a telemarketing outbound call training session. And as telemarketers come in, they typically fall from their background. They fall into two categories. One category they fall into is that of being very muscular in their history. In other words, they were able to get on the phone and just wing it. And I say they were able to because the company that hired them just hired them based on talent or disc personality profile. Oh, you're high ID. Just you get on the phone and, you just sell on intuition and you just wing it. Well, I call that selling on muscle. At a certain point in time in the gym, your muscles get tired. Go for a run, your muscles get tired. Whereas with a system, you have greater longevity because you're not overusing the muscle. I'm not saying that muscle, this is why I say intuitive, muscle, all that kind of stuff comes on that side. Strict systems sounds like, well, somebody said that in an interview to one of my top producers who was hiring. They said, well, I need more freedom than that. Okay, next, right? Some people just can't adhere to a system. They call it being micromanaged. Of course it's being micromanaged because then you're not winging it and exhausted and all cranky when you don't have a predictable result. See what I'm saying? If the system can bring you the predictable result and the muscling can't, you ever look at your book of business if you've already been in this real estate business for a while and it's way up and then it's way down and it's way up and it's way down because we are subjected to the wind picking up and dying down, picking up and dying down, meaning the economy, the interest rates, always something on the exterior slapping us around because we don't have systems. If we have systems, we can at least mitigate some of that. We can slow it down. We can lessen it so that the predictability and the consistency is there. But I promise you, if you don't have a system, you're winging it. You're selling on muscle. And a lot of you that see these top producing teams, you have no idea how ugly some of it is. It's ugly. I mean, talk about winging it. The person in charge is typically just writing a lot of checks into all these different lead plots. We need more leads, leads, let's sell. Well, that's winging it. That's not strategic thinking about who do we really want? Where do they really live? What price range are they really in? See, that's strategic thinking that sets you up to then make a decision. Okay, what message do we need to get them? And then finally, what medium do we send the message on? You see the difference between a strategic conversation that's stupid simple, by the way, and winging it. Well, Danny told me he's got this lead platform and he's killing it. That's the big line of all the top producers. Oh, he's killing it with it. Well, what? What do you mean he's killing? Yeah, well, I looked in the MLS and he's got a gajillion sales. Yeah, did he make any money? Because I know top producers doing $5-6 million that are making a minuscule amount. I know some people that do $500,000 gross with their team, which it sounds like a lot to some of you, not a lot to team leaders, and they're making the same as somebody at $5 million. I know you probably can't believe that, but that's the way business works because what's being mismanaged is the system or lack thereof. So stop winging it. From the beginners to the top producers, selling on muscle is overrated. Next, the art of listening helps you personalize your systematic approach. The art of listening helps you personalize your systematic approach. So let's talk about this. Here's where we start to blend the intuitive part. I'm going to go to the outbound call scripts that we work on a regular basis because the very first beat of them, all of them, I say, FSBOs, expireds, probate, circle prospecting, internet leads that include home evaluation inquiries, buyer inquiries, whatever. You pick a subject, I'm going to systematize it for you. And the idea is when we fulfill in the beginning with a system, Danny, this is Sally calling from Griffin Realty Group. The reason I'm calling is because I noticed your beautiful home online. And I noticed it didn't sell. So I want to send some information to you that will help you sell it the next time. May I do that? Rhetorical question for somebody who's answered. Super strict system. Super strict. I've done it so many times now that it's now ingrained. Now people say, well, I want to get rapport. And I want to whoa, slow down. Slow down. May I do that? I'm asking you permission if I can serve you with free information that will help you. No obligation to use me, just information that will organize you. Yes, it's my best what to do information. How to do you need me? What to do you don't need me? Let me give you my best what to do information for free. Well, if somebody's serious and they're not overly skeptical, well, sure, why not? What are you sending me? Well, I'd like to send you 5 or 6 of the properties that sold around you that were in your price range, and I'll give you a free copy of our what to do plan for sellers. Great. Send it. Now, I've opened up the law of, I guess reciprocity would be the best way to say it. I've offered a gift. They've accepted it. I'm going to fulfill. Wonderful. May I confirm the address is this? Well, can you email it? I prefer to mail it. Why? Because it's a lot of information. It's much easier to consume. Plus, for me, I want to be able to give a real gift. I want it to arrive in a real fulfillment way like Amazon because I want to change the relationship with you. I want to show you. Somebody said it to me this week. Well, we knew you were real when you sent $16 worth of stuff in the mail. Bingo. They added it up. Bingo. See what I mean? I just heard this 2 days ago. That's what one of my clients told me why I was in the house. You took the time to send $16 worth of stuff FedEx, and we knew you were for real, so we had to at least meet with you. You see, so that whole act of systemization now allows me the right to ask some more questions, or gives me the opportunity at least, not the right, but the opportunity. Hey, by the way, while I have you, it does look like a beautiful house. Now, this is after the first beat is done. Fulfill. I'll call you next week to make sure you got it. Wonderful. A week from now will be about Friday. That work for you? Super. Hey, by the way, while I have you, looks like a beautiful house. Why were you trying to sell it in the first place? Hey, it looks like you're looking for these properties online. Why? Were you thinking about buying? And now I shut up and listen. Because, you see, the system is still continuing. But it changes. It's now bordering on this strictness and this robotic piece, and it's going more into this intuition. Now I'm going to have to be a listener who's intuitive in his responses, not robotic. So you see the blending of the two? So now all of a sudden I come into this second part and I'm listening. Well, I'm getting a divorce, and, unfortunately, we're not getting along and it's not working out and expired the first time. Now I'm intuiting what's the right thing to do. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you and how motivated is your wife to sell the property? Well, I'm a 6 and she's a 10. Okay. So why are you so low? Well, I don't really want to move, but it's fast approaching. Is there a court decree? You see what I mean? I'm acting intuitively and logically. I don't have to be so systematic, but I'm still trying to systematically walk through the logic, but it does start to become intuitive. What is the right thing to do to serve this guy? By the way, this is a real scenario I'm giving you. It's exactly what happened. And had I known what I know today, we would have definitely gotten in front of his wife more immediately, but we were serving him, and we missed the fact that she was really out of the situation and it was cantankerous. We didn't know that till later on. And the minute I found out that she wasn't in the scene physically, but was in it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to meet with her. Please, can we meet with her? And it was too late. They already had their person on their side, and we were perceived as his guy. We'd met with him too many times, blah, 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 right? But I still served. And I still picked up a nice person. I did the right thing by the wife and their attorney, even though they already had their realtor and they were going to muscle this guy out of the way. Didn't matter. I still served. I listened and I learned. So in the future, when we're trying to personalize this systematic approach, I can say, look, here's the way I think my system applies to you. I think when you get this information, you take a look at these solds, I think what you're going to find is that there's some pretty good stuff that you were up against. But if the property is what I think it is, if I can come take a look at it, I see all these beautiful trim and all this stuff. Yeah, I hand-stitched it together myself. I did this. You see, it's becoming more personalized. But I'm still in a system. Because what I know is that the next logical ascension of value is, well, if we can get together at the house, what I can do on top of the information I'm sending, in fact, I can just bring it with me. I can go a little further. You can show me the house. I can analyze what's happening around you and tell you what I think the price tweak could be, the marketing tweak, whatever it is, but I don't know until I get there. So if you'd like something beyond the what to do information, I'd love to personalize it for you and tell you how I would do it if it were me. So you see, it's this art of listening and reacting. But I'm always right there beneath me is the system. If I lose control, here's the key. If I start to wing it or somebody throws me off, I recognize it now consciously. I stop in my tracks and I try to remember, where am I at in the system? Where is he at? Where is she at in their problem with why they didn't sell, why they can't buy yet? And I just go to it. Well, look, let's just refresh. You made it all the way to the communication stage and the listing stage, which is really the market making stage. Communication is throughout, but you know what I mean. When some buyer comes through or the broker comes through with their buyer, the communication at that moment is very important. Why didn't they? Did they buy anything else? Were they real? You see, I'm personalizing it for that person against the system. And intuitively, I know they're all over the place and they're making erroneous, a lot of people, most sellers, especially, and buyers in a hot market, they have cognitive distortions. They believe or perceive that the business works a certain way that it doesn't necessarily. And one of the things we dealt with today was, well, where's his market? Is it in Silver Springs, Maryland? Silver Springs, Maryland, and Potomac and Bethesda is where he does business. Primarily, most of what we do is virtual these days, but this is where he does business. It's got nothing to do with a physical office. Somebody has this delusion that what? What is a physical office in your marketplace going to do for you? I mean, properties expire every day with the local realtor. Why? Was it the physical office? See, this delusion that we hang on to as sellers and buyers is the business works a certain way, and we won't sit there and tell them systematically how it really happens and then personalize it for them, regardless of what they think in an erroneous way. All right, last point here. When you combine strict systems with a heartfelt intuitive service mindset, you win big. So going back to this, couple of real fresh, I'm fresh off of 2 listings that I just got, and both gents are older and they're very old school, and honesty and forthrightness and trust is everything. And I just do a lot of listening, and I know it sounds crazy from a guy who does, 3 monologue podcasts, right? You listen? I do. I spend the majority of my time in my business doing a lot of listening to my agents, to my administrators, to the clients, the buyers, the sellers, the marketplace, the updates. I do a lot of listening. And what that allows me to do is continue to trust in my systems and improve them. I've done plenty of podcasts, if you look back a couple episodes, about Kaizen, the Japanese philosophy of constant, steady, and never-ending improvement. But what that really allows me to do in this intuitive and deeper, I'm going to go deeper than intuitive, I'm going to go personal. I care a lot about these people. I think having this is a privilege. When somebody knocks me, when I get a client relationship that goes sideways, and I just had one of those, someone decided in the middle of the deal not to do a deal. Okay. And they wanted to blame me, even though they backed out of the deal. And it hurts because I really am of service. I really am all in for these people in that. And it's just a bummer when something like that happens in spite of your system. Here you are, you use your system, you get them exactly what they want. And it's such an emotional transaction, and things can change in a nanosecond during it that they all implode. So regardless of whether it goes really well or really poorly, I really have a heartfelt, intuitive service mindset, meaning my intuition is to serve no matter what my result, to give expecting nothing in return, has served me so incredibly well. It doesn't mean it's euphoria. That's why I told you I had a tough deal and a couple great deals going on at the same time. That's what it is. Right? So the idea is that with that intuitive service mindset, my business has grown so well. Most importantly, because when you treat people like this with systems and intuition that responds and personalizes, you end up with the happiest past clients that you've ever had, which makes you feel good and helps them repeat and refer your business. That's why you win big. All right, let me summarize it. Strict systems and intuition, you need them both. The first point was nothing beats a system that serves the public predictably. Think Chick-Fil-A, Starbucks, etc. 2, your strict systems keep you from winging it and selling on muscle. 3, the art of listening helps you personalize your systematic approach. Make sure you understand that you can be system in robotics so that you can personalize it. 4, when you combine strict systems with a heartfelt, intuitive service mindset, in other words, your intuition is to always serve, you win big. Let me summarize it this way. Too many real estate agents are trying to sell on muscle rather than building and following a strict system because they incorrectly believe that systems are impersonal. However, many of the greatest systems in the world serve the public far better than a haphazard winging it approach, and it allows its people, the people in the company, to be far more intuitive and personalize the experience. All you have to do is think great experiences like Starbucks or Chick-Fil-A. Remember, you can take immediate action and get started the right direction with a copy of our free agent plan that's waiting for you at freeagentgift.com. Also, don't forget, you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. We'd also love to hear from you, so please comment on our posts so we know what your biggest challenges are. And remember, I sign off the same way every single time, systematically and intuitively. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on your own business, and I will see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks.